Hi, my name is Jessie Bell. This is Colby. He's going to be joining us in and out of the video probably while we break down yoga sequencing into smaller segments and modify each one. We're going to start today with Sun Salutation A, and we will begin with a meditation or centering just as we would with a full yoga class. Go ahead and come into an easy pose like crisscross applesauce. And if you have any tightness in your lower back or your hips, prop yourself up on something like a block, which puts your hips above your knees. This allows a more natural curve in the lumbar spine and is easier to maintain a straight spine as we do in meditating. Start to breathe naturally, placing your hands on your knees. And we're going to begin an Ujjayi breath, which will carry us through the practice. Ujjayi breath, also known as victorious breath, is a common breath control that's used in yoga to warm the body. It also helps maintain focus, and it creates a rhythm, moving you from one pose to the next. To start the Ujjayi breath practice, we're going to make a ha sound in the back of our throat, constricting the throat as you would in a whisper. You can pretend to fog up a mirror. And then softly close the mouth and continue this ha sound on an exhale through the nose. Ujjayi breath is completed with inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Sometimes you'll hear people breathing very deeply with Ujjayi breath, and it can take up the whole room, which is good to help unify the class if we're all breathing together. However, if it's bothering you, go ahead and just maintain focus on your own breath and your own mat, which will help to ground you and center you in your own practice. We want our breathing to be even. You can do this by listening to the breath, evening out your inhales with the exhales. If it's difficult for you to determine whether or not they're even, you can listen to your heartbeat and inhale and exhale for about 3 heartbeats. If at any time during the practice it's difficult to maintain this breathing, that's your body telling you it's time to rest, and just let go of your ego and come down into a relaxation pose such as child's pose or downward dog. Inhaling and exhaling will take place with body movement from one pose to the next. And you'll find that on inhales where the chest expands, they'll happen on an arm up movement, and exhaling where the chest relaxes will happen on an arms down movement. We can practice that inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Go ahead and bring your Ujjayi breath with you to the top of the mat. We'll stand in mountain position. Mountain position will be feet parallel, about hips width apart, with your heels behind your second and third toes, shoulders back, shoulder blades down, arms are relaxed at the side with hands wide. Traditional Sun Salutation A begins with arms raising, inhaling, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, right leg back, left leg back into plank position. Tricep push-up. All the way down. Pressing up into upward dog. All 10 toes press into the floor. Quadriceps are lifted, lifting from the lower belly, shoulders back, rolling over the toes into downward facing dog, which we'll hold for 5 breaths. Lower arms are rolled in with upper arms rolled out, shoulders wide, shoulder blades pressing down the back. It helps in alignment to see if you can lift your hands and your palms here, lifting through the hips. On 4, we're going to step forward, right leg, then left leg. Inhale, heart open. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, palms together, shoulders out of our ears. Exhale, mountain pose. With the modified version, you can go ahead and use your blocks. And keeping your knees bent throughout the practice will help if your hamstrings are tight or there's any tightness in your lower back or hips to prevent rounding. You want a neutral pelvis. Shoulders back, shoulder blades down, hands wide. Inhale, palms together, shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, forward fold. You can take your hands to your thighs if this is where you're at, or to your blocks. Inhale, chest open, shoulders rolled back. Then using your blocks, right leg back, left leg back, you can take as many steps as you need, or down to your knees into modified plank position. Tricep push-up all the way down to the ground. Inhale into cobra, keeping the arms bent and the hips on the floor. Back into child's pose, taking the knees as wide as the mat, pushing your hips back so that you sit on your heels, forehead to the mat for 5 breaths. Take your hands into cupcake or spider position, rolling the lower arms in and the upper arms out, shoulders wide and shoulder blades down the back. You will use this same arm alignment when you're able to come up into downward dog, so you can practice it here. 4, taking as many steps as you need to bring yourself up and into forward fold. You can use your blocks here. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling, keeping the hips stacked over the ankles. All the way up, palms together. Exhale, mountain pose. We'll take 5 rounds of this. Keeping your knees bent. Inhale, palms together. Keeping your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chest up, heart open. Taking as forward fold. Inhaling back into plank position with as many steps as you need to, and down on your knees. Modified tricep push-up all the way to the ground. Inhale, up into cobra, keeping the arms bent, shoulders back, hips on the floor, pushing back into child's pose. Hold for 5 breaths. Take the hands into spider or cupcake position, rolling the lower arms in and the upper arms out, shoulders wide with shoulder blades down the back. Breathing 3, 4. And with as many steps as you need to, bringing yourself up and forward into forward fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping the hips stacked over the heels. Inhale, standing all the way up, palms together. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms raising, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, right leg, left leg into modified plank. Tricep push-up all the way to the ground. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, down and back into child's pose. Taking 5 breaths. Four. With as many steps as you need to, bringing yourself into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping the hips stacked over the heels. Inhale, all the way up, palms together, shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching through the chest, heart open. Exhale, back into modified plank position on your knees. Tricep push-up all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra, raising the chest, keeping the hips on the floor. Your hands are back by your rib cage. Exhaling, down and back into child's pose for 5 breaths. Four, with as many steps as you need to, bringing yourself forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing yourself all the way up, palms together, keeping your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, heart open. Exhale, forward fold. Exhale, knees back, right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground, into modified plank position. Tricep push up all the way to the ground, hands are at the rib cage. Inhaling up into cobra, keeping the elbows bent and the shoulders back. Exhale down and push back into child's pose, keeping your cupcake or spider fingers for 5 breaths. 3, 4, and 5. As many steps as it takes to bring yourself forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. forward fold. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhaling all the way up, palms together, keeping your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing yourself back onto your knees, right knee, left knee in a modified plank position. Exhale, down to the ground, and inhale up into cobra, shoulder blades pressing down the back. Exhale, down and pressing back into child's pose. Hold for 5 breaths. 4, bringing yourself forward with as many steps as you need to in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, heart open. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the hips stacked over the ankles. Inhale all the way up, palms together, keeping your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, mountain pose. That completes 5 rounds of Sun Salutation A. And you can come down into a Shavasana if you'd like to for about 5 minutes or as long as you need to take. We'll see you again with Sun Salutation B at the next video. I hope you enjoyed this modified version and thank you for joining me. Namaste.